Welcome, everyone. My name is Lourdes Siglau. I'm the Executive Director for the Center for Women Veterans. Today, you'll hear a story of resilience and advocacy. And to kick off today's event with our opening remarks, we have the Honorable Tanya Bradsher. Ms. Bradsher is a VA's first woman veteran to serve as a Deputy Secretary. She is also the first woman of color to serve in this position and the highest-ranking woman in VA's more than 90-year history. A fourth-generation veteran, Ms. Bradsher, a combat veteran of the Iraq War, served in the United States Army for 20 years and retired as a lieutenant colonel. Since retiring, she served as the VA's Chief of Staff and in senior positions with the Department of Homeland Security and on the White House National Security Council. Ms. Bradsher believes deeply in honoring our nation's sacred obligation to serve veterans, their families, caregivers, and survivors, as well as they have all served us. Please join me in welcoming VA's 10th Deputy Secretary, Ms. Tanya Bradsher.
Thank you, Lourdes, as always. Good morning. I am going to be brief today because I know we are all here to hear from Ginger, a Navy veteran, a fierce advocate for women veterans, and a true fighter. Ginger, I am honored to have known you all of these years. Thank you for bravely sharing your story with us. And Lourdes, thank you for the kind introduction and for your leadership of CWV. If you have not had the opportunity to hear comments from the Army Women's Foundation that she led during AUSA, highly recommend. She did a phenomenal job. And also, it is a privilege that CWV is celebrating their 30th anniversary. 30 years of serving women veterans, delivering outcomes for all veterans that we serve. And this year has been one of those record years. Lourdes and her team have hosted countless events, including an in-person Quadrennial Women Veterans Summit, the first since 2017. These events have brought thousands of women veterans to VA. Many of our CWV teammates are here in the audience. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. We appreciate you. And I'd like to especially thank Michelle Terry. Today marks our 6th time hosting this event, and Michelle has planned all of them. Michelle, your dedication to this cause and to CWV's critical work is nothing short of inspirational. And last, and certainly not least, to my fellow women veterans in the audience, thank you. I would not be here today without the countless women veterans who helped and mentored me, who lifted me up, and who fought by my side. You have my word that I'll continue to fighting tirelessly to ensure that you and your families have the access, benefits, care, and services that you so richly deserve. Let me give a very quick update on what we at VA are doing to keep our promise to women veterans. Since President Biden took office, VA has delivered more care and more benefits to more veterans than ever before. And women veterans are VA's fastest growing cohort. There are more than 2 million women veterans throughout the country today, the highest number in our nation's history. More women are choosing VA than ever before. In fact, this past year, we enrolled 53,000 women veterans, our highest enrollment in one single year of women veterans ever. It's so encouraging because I truly believe that women veterans do best when they come to VA for their health care. And 2 years ago, President Biden signed his historic legislation designed to care for veterans who are exposed to toxins in Vietnam and in the 30 years in the Central Command of War in the Central Command. It's called the PACT Act. The toxic exposure law covers reproductive cancer of any type, including breast cancer. VA offers state-of-the-art, comprehensive breast and cancer care including mammograms, advanced diagnostic tools, research, and follow-up therapies. These services are delivered by highly trained VA providers in environments that prioritize giving women veterans care in welcoming, respectful, and safe environments. Last year, we also honored the 30th anniversary of the Violence Against Women Act, authored by the President when he was a senator. VA is also actively engaged in implementation of the nation's first ever U.S. plan to end gender-based violence. And here's the bottom line. We are deeply dedicated to ensuring that veterans who experience intimate partner violence, or MST, have all services and the support that they need to recover and thrive. But there's so much more left to do. So to the women veterans here, if you're not already getting your care with us at the VA, we want to serve you. And if you are getting your care at the VA, talk to your sisters in arms. Let them know, because we know that veterans trust veterans, and your word carries so much more than anything that we can do. Any advertisement, any ad, you're going to be able to carry that water so much better. And we want them enrolled because while they may not need health care today, they may need us tomorrow or the day after or 30 years from now. Let's get all of them signed up because this work will take all of us. And we need everyone's help. We need your help to help us communicate to our women veterans. I just cannot stress that enough, because we want them to make sure that they have access to the world-class health care that we provide. So again, to all my fellow women veterans here today, thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for all that you are doing and have done for our nation. God bless you, and God bless United States of America. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Michelle Terry, and I'm the Outreach Program Manager here at the Center. Thank you, Ms. Bradsher. We are honored to have you here today. I would now like to introduce Ms. Ginger Miller. Ginger Miller is a dynamic leader, an advocate, and a proud Navy veteran who has channeled her life's experiences into a powerful mission for change. Hailing from New York, oh yeah, she overcame homelessness, using her journey to fuel her commitment to serving women veterans. As a breast cancer survivor, Ginger embodies resilience and inspires others through her remarkable story. A highly sought-after public speaker, she motivates and empowers individuals and communities alike, leaving an indelible mark on the lives of many through her passionate advocacy and unwavering spirit. As the president and CEO of the Women Veterans Interactive Foundation, she champions the rights and welfare of women who have served in the military, earning her the title of White House Champion of Change for Women Veterans in 2013. In 2021, she was appointed by President Joe Biden to the USO Board of Governors, reflecting her significant influence in Veterans Affairs. Additionally, she was appointed by Maryland's Governor Wes Moore to the Maryland Commission on Veterans and Military Families and the Board of Trustees of the Maryland Trust Fund, where she serves as the chairwoman. Ginger currently serves on the NAACP Armed Forces Committee and the Advisory Board on Northwest Federal Credit Union. She previously served as an honorary commander for the 316th Operation Group at Joint Base Andrews for 3 years and now holds the role of ambassador. Ms. Miller served for 5 consecutive years on the Advisory Committee on Minority Veterans at the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, where she chaired the committee for the last 2 years. Additionally, she has held the position of chairwoman for the Prince George's County Veterans Commission, served on the Maryland Commission for Women and the Maryland Caregivers Coordinating Council. Whew, that's a lot, y'all. Academically, she holds a bachelor's degree in accounting from Hofstra University and a master's degree in nonprofit and association management from the University of Maryland Global Campus, equipping her with the expertise to drive impactful change in the nonprofit sector. Listen, you all, let's put our hands together as our dynamic speaker comes to inspire us on today.
That was a lot. Thank you so much, Michelle, for that amazing introduction. I want to thank the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs for having me, the Center for Women Veterans, all of your staff and officers here. Wow. I consider myself to be blessed and highly favored. Overcoming homelessness was a tough battle that I had to do alone, because I was alone and I had to figure it out. That made me a warrior and then a champion for women veterans, and one of the best this country have seen and will have ever seen, hands down. Now you just heard the bio, so I'm not bragging on myself. Nevertheless, decades later, I was faced with a new challenge that would knock me off my feet, but for only 4 days, because that's all the time that I would allow it to have in my headspace. You see, if it wasn't going to kill me, then I would not let it occupy my mind. And that, for me, was the real battle, because I truly believe that all battles are won in the mind. Now let's take a step back to March 2024, when the Women Veterans Interactive Foundation hosted the State of Women Veterans Building an Ecosystem for Women Veterans to Thrive in the Civilian Sector. And our sponsors, one of which who is here today, BD, Becton, Dickinson and Company, and the American Cancer Society Action Network was our primary sponsors. And we focused on cancers and the importance of early detection and how it could save lives. Then 2 months later, I got the diagnosis of early stage breast cancer. Now here we were being proactive, and there I was, getting caught out there. And that's exactly how I felt. Now let's take another step back, because I had been having pain in my right breast. And folks will tell you that pain in your breast is not a sign of breast cancer. But ladies, we have got to get in the driver's seat of our health care, period. And I went to my doctor. I get all of my health care. So as the deputy secretary said, ladies, we've got to tune into the VA for our health care. And I'll never forget that day I went to the DC VA Medical Center, and I said, Dr. Burdett, I'm having this pain in my right breast. And me and Dr. Burdett, we have a love-hate relationship, because I keep trying to corner her for Ozempic, and she won't give it to me. Nevertheless, I said, Dr. Burdett, I'm having this pain in my right breast. And she said, Ginger, I don't think it's breast cancer, but we'll send you over to Southern Maryland so they can give you the right exams. And they found not one tumor, but 2 tumors in my breast. And I had a biopsy. And they said, okay, I was driving. I remember the day, May 2nd, driving because my husband had just had double hernia surgery. And the doctor said to me on the phone, who happened to be a Navy veteran, go Navy, she said, is now a good time. And if anyone knows me, it's always a good time for my news because I'm going to always take the bull by its horns. And she said, Mrs. Miller, you have breast cancer. And I said to myself, Jesus, it's not like becoming homeless, because it steps and stages to that. And you could get out of that, Ginger Miller. Like, what do you want to do now? Like, you worked so hard to build this nonprofit organization so women veterans can have a better life after leaving the military. Like, you've worked for the last 13 years of your life, the better part of your life, from 40 to now 54. If you die, you have nothing, no savings, no nothing, and now you have breast cancer. What are you going to do? And I remember saying to her, like, what is it? Like, I instantly went to the graveyard, instantly. Like, I had put myself 6 feet under. And I said, what do I have? Stage 4? Like, is it triple negative? Like, all the bad things you hear. And she said, you have DCIS. And I'm like, what? I have who? Now I'm illiterate. And she said, it's DCIS. And she told me what that meant. And she said, okay, it's in your milk ducts. And, you know, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a breast cancer specialist. But it wasn't a death sentence. And I'm like, ooh, okay. And instantly I said, okay, well, this is what we need to do. And then she started telling me about how she wanted to get in contact with the DCVA Medical Center because she worked with this organization. And I started to put together a strategic plan. And she said to me, Mrs. Miller, did you not hear me tell you that you have breast cancer? And here you are trying to put together a strategic plan to help other women veterans? Like, no, it's about you right now. And I'm like, okay, but I just maybe thought if I had some connections, like we could help some other women veterans. And she was like, no, but at the core of who I am, if I could help somebody, if I could save a life, I'm not going to take a life, especially not for women veterans. Nevertheless, she said, you need to call a surgeon. I didn't call a surgeon right away. I called my leadership team. And women veterans, you got to know that you're not alone. I called the WVI leadership team and I said, I have breast cancer. I figured the thing out. I got a link. I sent everybody the link. Because when you tell people, you want to educate them and let them know what you have and what you're dealing with. And I felt like I was one of the lucky ones because DCIS is not a death sentence. It's early stage breast cancer. And, you know, by the time I got to the surgeons, they said, okay, you may have to have a lumpectomy, mastectomy. I'm going to get to that in a minute because the next call that I made, she's not here, was to the deputy secretary. Because she's my friend. And we've known each other for years. And I just felt like, you know what? I'm wounded. I said, I got caught out there. I got breast cancer, deputy secretary, and I don't ever call her Tanya. I sent that email. I said, deputy secretary, I have breast cancer and I don't have benefits. All I have is the DCVA Medical Center. And she said, I can't imagine what you're going through. I'm not in town right now, but I got it. And I can tell you this, when you have a disease like breast cancer, it hurts you to tell other people that you care about. And I know people love me. I got haters, but I know people love Ginger Miller. And to make those phone calls and those emails, and there's still a few people, Dwight Hunt, if you're out there, I need to call you. because I know, y'all know I'm sweet on that man. It's just so hard to tell the people that you love that you have a disease that could potentially take your life. But you've got to let people know so that you're not alone. Do not isolate yourself. The only how you can get through this is with the help of your community. And that's how I was able to go from being diagnosed on May 2nd with early stage breast cancer to getting a double mastectomy, because I told them strictly, if you're going to take one, take two. If you're going to take one, take two. I had a double mastectomy on July 29th. Okay? So I went from seeing my doctor in April, diagnosed May 2nd, double mastectomy July 29th, but I was never alone. And my sister said to me, my sister and my brother, when I called them, my mother had just died August 1st of last year from a rare leukemia. And I watched her walk the floor and scream every night. With excruciating pain, because she thought that she had vertigo, because she had dementia. We didn't know she had dementia. We didn't know she had leukemia until she was out of here. And she died right over by Washington Hospital Center. I had my mastectomy at the DCVA Medical Center. So my biggest fear was that I would die on the table. And that I would be one of those stories, oh, well, you know how folks are, especially on social media. Child, her mother died last year, right across the street at Washington Hospital, and she died 2 days to the year at the DCVA Medical Center on the table. That was my biggest fear. But God spared my life. And I could tell you this. The DCVA Medical Center, they called me, and the lady said on the phone, and remember I said all battles are won in the mind. Get your mind right. And get your people in line. Get your community to rally behind you. The first call I got, because the deputy secretary already said, she told y'all in a roundabout way, I'm not the one to play with. Breast cancer or not, I'm going to take charge because I got my mind right. Because society's not going to tell me to lay down. I'm taking every hit standing up. Every hit I'm going to take standing up. Every single one. DCVA Medical said, hi, Mrs. Miller. My name is so-and-so. I said, you know, I have this early stage breast cancer. We got to get this show on the road. I need to get it off of me. I need it out. Oh, well, this is the call to give you hope. I said, wait a minute now. You are not authorized to put me in the mausoleum. I already have hope. I think you need a little hope. Okay? And we got that show on the road. I met with Dr. Fatima Kambadi. Whew, what a name. Got up in her office. I said, Dr. Kambadi, let's go. I'm here. Let's get this show on the road. And the energy that I brought into that office was electric. And every time I went to every appointment, they said, the boss is here. I listened, we learned, we connect on every inch of my care. Was I scared? No. Was I nervous? No. Because at some point I said, this is not my dance. This is Dr. Kambadi's dance. This is for the DCVA Medical Center. I don't know anything about cancer. I don't want to know anything about cancer. I got to walk this thing. And when I'm done, I'm going to talk this thing. Because I'm going to save somebody's life. And even before I had the double mastectomy, I had so many things that I was doing on the road for women veterans. And the thing that annoyed me to my core, women veterans, we've got to do better. If you're not getting your mammogram, why not? What are you afraid of? The results? You can only get the results by taking the test. So don't be afraid of the test. The results can save your life. to date, I've had at least 100 women veterans and women come up to me and tell me, thank you for sharing your story because I haven't had a mammogram. Mercy is the word. We've got to do better because early detection saves lives. You should not be afraid of a test. When I told my brother and sister I had cancer, you know what they said to me? You're already wearing pink. No kind of empathy, no kind of sympathy, because they knew that I would beat it. You know, my kids, on the other hand, they couldn't understand why I, Ginger Miller, their mother, would get breast cancer. Anybody can get it. Anybody. I'm not a saint. But everybody can catch it early. Right? We're not talking the 1900s. It's 2024. If I had a choice, and that's the medication. I don't have COVID, so y'all don't start. They do have masks floating around here somewhere. If I had a choice, I don't think I would change it. One of the things I said was, God, I'm going to accept my lot. When I got my diagnosis, I said, I'm going to accept my lot. I said, I'm going to accept my lot and I'm going to run with it. Because I had no choice. But what I did have was great health care with the VA. Unfortunately, I had DCIS, and then I found out that I had invasive breast cancer as well. But it goes back to early detection saved lives, because one of my tumors was stage 0 and one of them was stage 1. And they got all the cancers out. I don't have to have chemo. I have to take a pill that's annoying me for 5 years, with 2 big horse pills for like bones or because I could get osteoporosis. I mean, it's a lot, but I'm alive, right? And, you know, so many times society teaches us they do a great job with teaching us to fall apart. But nobody does a great job with teaching us how to keep it together. Keep it together. It's okay to keep it together. You could cry a little bit, but you don't have to fall apart. Because all those people that tell you, oh, ball up in a knot, go in a dark room, are they going to get you out of that dark room? Probably not. So I fought for my sanity. I fought for my clarity. I fought for my life. I fought for my dignity. I truly believe, and I want everybody at the sound of my voice, if you didn't hear anything else that I'm saying to you today, all battles are won in the mind. I've seen too many veterans, women and men, lose it because of what they're going through. And I had so many veterans come up to me and say, you know, I had this and I had that. I wish somebody had told me, Ginger, that all battles was won in the mind, because I would have recovered sooner. Homelessness, cancer. I mean, only thing left for me to do now is hit the Mega Million. Because, baby, I'm not taking no more hits. I need to hit that Mega Million. I don't know I told my team, it's only up from here. You know, and women veterans, we're so amazing. You know, somebody said, Kim Lott said to me, you should start a meal train. And this is why community matters, your community. We started a meal train. It's going over $4,000. I didn't have to cook a meal. I got tired of Grubhub. I said, I got to get to the grocery store. $4,000 people gave every day. I got blankets, cups, candles. Catherine Walker, who's here today, sent a humidifier to my house. The thing light up and sends off all kind of scents. But it's the love that you get when you're going through that brings you through, right? But you can't get that unless you raise your hand and let somebody know that I'm going through, I'm hurt, I have breast cancer. Even for me to speak it, even for me to be here today, it's hard. I've never really said it. And I believe God has a plan because he already put me in pink. Because if I had to put it on today, I probably wouldn't have. It is not because I'm angry. It's a hard pill to swallow. I don't have a problem getting up, being bold, being brave. But even my son said to me, Mommy, I just can't believe that you had breast cancer because you just walk right through it. I would rather just walk right through it. I don't want to pick it up every day. I'll advocate for it, but I don't want to keep picking it up. It was a part of my life. I got to continue on in the journey. So I don't want to put on the boxing gloves. I don't want to tap dance with it every day. I'm not going to dance with the devil every day. I'm not going to do it. But I'm going to save a life and not let cancer take a life. I see it through a different lens, and I'm going to leave you with this. Don't be afraid of the test. Early detection can save your life. You are not alone. Reach out to your community. Reach out to the VA. You have options. Schedule your mammogram today. Today. Your mammo is your ammo. Period. You know, if anybody, the last time I spoke here, I happened to see Renee Allen downstairs, and she actually let us in because Michelle was making the place so beautiful, and I appreciate that. But Renee Allen brought us up, and the last time I spoke here, it had to be 2017. It was for the Center of Minority Veterans when Miss Lucretia McClenny was in charge, and it was about homelessness. This time it's about breast cancer. And I'm gonna tell y'all, the next time I come back, I'll be the secretary. So that means I'm not coming back. God bless and good night.
She's taller than me.
She's taller than me.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as we close today's event, I want to make sure that we extend not only our deepest gratitude for the Deputy Secretary for being here. I know she had to rush to go to the White House. Duty calls all the time. Ginger, your incredible story of resilience and courage has truly, truly touched and inspired us all. Your journey is powerful, and it's a powerful reminder that strength we can all find within ourselves and the impact we can make when we share our experiences. Thank you so much for your vulnerability, your insights, and for lighting the path for so many others who are facing similar battles as you have been doing for so many years. We're honored by your presence and truly privileged to hear your story. And as a token of our appreciation, we want to make sure that the VA Center for Women Veterans presents to you the certificate of appreciation for being here today, for all you do, and for just being the amazing warrior that you are.
She's telling us to go to the. She's saying go ahead.
So to everyone here, thank you so much for your support and your commitment to raising awareness and fostering hope in the fight against breast cancer and domestic violence. Together, we can continue to make a difference. We want to close out today with a powerful commitment to each other by taking the White Ribbon Pledge. The White Ribbon Pledge VA is a national call to action to eliminate sexual harassment, sexual assault, and domestic violence across the Department of Veterans Affairs and everywhere that we are by promoting a positive change in culture so that the actions outlined in the pledge become our organizational norm and our community's norm. White House Ribbon VA is an awareness movement where all, regardless of their gender, can participate. If I could have everyone please stand, raise your hand, and repeat after me. And by the way, you have white ribbons, I believe, at each of your seats as well. I state your name. Well, learn this. Pledge to never commit, excuse, or stay silent about sexual harassment, sexual assault, domestic violence against others. I urge each of you to go online and register your pledge at www.whiteribbonyusa.org, whiteribbon-va-pledge. Thank you so much to everyone. One last thing, we are going to have Miss Messina Shalas pin the white ribbon to Miss Ginger Miller. Thank you so much, everyone. Please stay after. Oh, one more. Please stay after to enjoy some refreshments. Take some selfies. There are some beautiful masks and what do you call them?
There's hats and masks, a lot of great scarves back there.
Yep.
We want you all to, Miss Miller's going to stay here for a little while. If you want to hang out with her, take some photos for a few minutes. And then at 1:30, we're going to meet in the lobby so we can take the big photo. But let's go in the back and have some fun with her. So she's going to hang around so you all can talk to her. All right?
There's also
Thank you all
cake
so
and
much.
refreshments.
And there's some refreshment. There's some cake and punch. So please join in with us. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.